In this video, we'll factor trinomials of the form ax squared plus bxy plus cy squared with a leading coefficient of 1, and we'll also practice rewriting trinomials in standard form before we factor. Let's review how we used the box strategy to multiply binomials. We would write the x plus 2y along the top of the box and the x plus 7y along the side. And similar to lattice, we'll put the product in the respective cells. And when we go to combine like terms, our final answer will be a trinomial x squared plus 9xy plus 14y squared. So what we want to do is use the box strategy as a way of factoring trinomials. And so we're going to take this exact trinomial, the x squared plus 9xy plus 14y squared. Remember, the first term goes in the top left spot of the box. The 14y squared goes down in the bottom right. We multiply those together and we look for factors of 14 x squared y squared. We stop here because these are the two factors which also add together to equal the middle term. Along the top row, we see there's a factor of x, which we can take out. And we say x times x is x squared, right? Now x times 2y is 2xy. 2y times 7y is 14y squared. And we can write this trinomial in factored form as x plus 2y times x plus 7y. We'll try another example. X squared in the top left, 6y squared in the bottom right. Now let's find factors of 6x squared y squared that also add together to equal the middle term will be this group, which we'll write along the diagonal. Now let's figure out what the factors of the box would have been. Let's take out an x from the top row and an x from the first column, and x times what is 2xy? 2y times 3y is 6y squared. And we can write this in factored form as x plus 2y times x plus 3y. Okay, next example, we'll have a negative as the third term. This can get a little bit tricky. So we want to find the factors of negative 3x squared y squared. One of them has to be negative and one has to be positive. And we'll choose this group because they add together to equal the 2xy. Along the top row of the box, let's factor out an x, and let's figure out the rest of the box. Now we can factor our trinomial as x minus 1y times x plus 3y. Okay, so the box is helpful. Now let's factor this trinomial using the box strategy, but first by putting it in standard form. It's good to have the quadratic term first, then the linear term, then the constant. Now we can use our box the way we're used to. Quadratic term in the top left, the constant term in the bottom right. And what are the factors of negative 21x squared? We know one has to be a negative and one has to be a positive. And which of those will add together to equal the middle term? So let's put those along the diagonal. And now we'll figure out what our box needs to look like. We'll take an x out of the top row, and we'll finish it off by rewriting our trinomial as x plus 3 times x minus 7.